What's up, Raiders? It's your boy Groovinator here, and while I wanted to put this video out much earlier today, I wanted to make sure, for the sake of my fans and followers, that I wasn't jumping the gun on this information. A lot of you came to my channel for my coverage on Alita Battle Angel, and I wanted to make sure that my information was indeed genuine before I said anything. And especially when I'm quoting somebody like Forbes, alright? I've mentioned several times that people like Forbes and who's that other idiot that's on here? Scott Mendelson. People like that have done their best to try to bury this movie. Unjustly, unfairly bury this movie that's great. Critics were not fair to this movie. I do wholeheartedly agree. There was not a lot of merchandise to be found for this movie. I went to a comic book store like not even a mile away from the theater, and there was no manga at the freaking comic book store down the street from the theater for Alita Battle Angel. I went on Amazon trying to find toys and t-shirts. I found nothing. The best thing I could find is that manga behind me on the corner there that I found at a Barnes & Noble. Go Barnes & Noble, they came through, all right? I found it, all right? So otherwise I was going to order it off of the internet. But it says here, according to Mark Hughes, unfortunately we are using Forbes, all right, because this is the article we want to cover. Alita Battle Angel avoids major write-down and could get a sequel. Despite pre-release estimates suggesting that a terrible domestic bow and subsequent belly flop at the worldwide box office, Alita Battle Angel has fought its way to $402.6 million in global receipts and looks to finish its theatrical run just shy of $405 million. A moral victory more than a financial one, Alita's box office nevertheless helps Fox avoid a major write-down and even sets the stage for legitimate discussions about a sequel. Yes! Make this happen! Do we not all want this or what? That's why I didn't want to jump the gun. I want to make sure that this is a reality, okay, folks? Get off my page. As is my esteemed colleague Scott Mendelson, he's such a phony. As my esteemed colleague Scott Mendelson noted in his write-up about Alita's box office fate, the film's foreign box office includes $132.6 million from China, of which the studio will only see approximately $35 million. From the rest of the international marketplace in North America territories combined, Alita will hit $170 million in revenue return to the studio, since most markets see a 50-50 split between the studios and theaters, while China only spends 25 to 30% back to those studios. That's enough to cover the production budget, although I hear there are only enough tax incentives and other rebates to actually shave a few additional $1 million off the final shooting budget. When it hits home entertainment market and television, Alita should cover its marketing costs as well. For comparison, this is terrible comparison. Solo, a Star Wars story, which took $393 million at the worldwide box office, has grossed an estimated $100+ million in domestic DVD, Blu-ray, digital HD sales, and rentals. And that's without including worldwide home sales and rentals. Solo and Alita both received A- grades from audiences via CinemaScore, and both received mixed positive reviews from critics. People that are buying Solo are probably Star Wars completists that think for some reason they need to have it in their collection. I'm not one of those people. I stopped buying Star Wars Blu-rays after The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi is nowhere in my collection. I have The Force Awakens over there because that was okay. But I don't have The Last Jedi, and I don't have Solo, and I've seen both of those movies, and I don't want them. They have no meaning or value to me. To me, they spell the end of a loved one for me. It's not something I want reminder, all right? It'd be like keeping the bullet of the wound that killed your loved one. You know what I mean? It's sick and twisted, and I don't want it anywhere in my possession. Other comparisons to sci-fi adventure releases with similar box office and reactions include Star Trek Beyond, Terminator Genesis, Blade Runner 2049, Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow, there's a fantastic frickin' movie. I absolutely love that movie. Looking forward to another one. And Pacific Rim, also pretty decent. In each case, the film underperformed and had anywhere from B+ to A- audience grades and had relatively modest home entertainment outcomes. But there's the catch. Even those modest home release numbers suggest Alita Battle Angel should perform well enough to cover marketing costs and possibly even have a few dollars in the black ink when all is said and done. Merchandising will be where any real profit margins come, though even there it's likely to be modest at best. Make me an Alita Hot Toys, or what do they call that? Not Diamond Select. What are those called? Hot Toys. The big fancy action figures they buy. The really expensive ones. Give me an Alita of one of those. That would be fantastic. I was actually looking for something like that. Like a statue. A statue would fit great in a room full of angry robots. You know what I mean? Just saying. All right? Angry robot toys are welcome here. All right? Give me another one. Not that she's angry, but she's definitely a robot. And she's definitely badass. But while there's slim comfort in declaring break-even a victory, this is still undeniably a far better outcome than most people predicted or expected. Yes! Yes! It was better than you expected. Damn right it was. In my own review for Alita in opening weekend, I said it would probably take about 350 plus million, and that anything north of 400 million could be fairly considered dodging a bullet. In light of negative media coverage and apparent audience ambivalence toward the release, well consider the bullet dodge then. Negative media coverage, including Forbes, including Scott Mendelson, your esteemed colleague. You're part of the problem. Just mentioning, all right? This is almost like these guys eating crow, all right? It's amazing. There's no denying Fox had higher hopes for Alita Battle Angel, and it was a passion project for producer James Cameron, so they are surely disappointed it hasn't launched a successful blockbuster franchise yet. Yet, I say, because while most consider a sequel unlikely at this point, Disney's purchase of 20th Century Fox and their excitement over securing a partnership with James Cameron for his Avatar franchise, plus Disney's desire for more IP to exploit via theatrical and streaming productions, means we surely haven't seen the last of the property. I can imagine Disney convening Cameron to produce a streaming series to continue the Alita franchise on Disney Plus as either a live-action or anime series, or Cameron convincing Disney that the aftermath of the first Avatar sequel, plus significant reworking of the Alita property to make the sequel story bigger and better than the first film, an Alita sequel with a better release date could score stronger box office next time around. I don't want this, all right? I don't want this animated series. I want another movie. Give me another movie with at least the budget. This is what I'm saying. If you're going to make a sequel to a movie that works, at least make it as good as the original, if not, hopefully better. Don't give me watered down bullshit. Don't do this, all right? The point being, while the reasons to be disappointed are obvious, 400 plus million as the face of failure for an IP isn't exactly a kiss of death. Had the budget been a little lower and the box office had been a little higher, we'd have been a different in a conversation right now. True, those things didn't happen, but it's not hard to imagine getting there. And while we can look at other failed franchise launches as reasons to be skeptical of Alita's chances in the future, we can also look at previously relatively lower grossing launches that eventually spawned increasingly profitable series. The key ingredients here are very popular manga and the anime series and James Cameron himself. Cameron's history of success, especially in the face of media skepticism, is obvious. Even in the case of Alita, the fact we are now talking about the film avoiding losing money and eventually even generating some moderate profit from merchandising rather than the flop and major write-down just about every entertainment outlet and journalists anticipated speaks to the point the press hasn't fully accepted the truth of never bet against Cameron. These are obvious paths forward to tweak Alita and find a path to success for this franchise, and it would be crazy to deny Cameron that opportunity if he wants to continue with this property. It would be, of course, that Cameron has lost interest in moving forward with additional entries in Alita's story, and if that's the case, then we surely won't see a sequel, but it's theatrical or streaming indeed. Cameron could certainly be forgiven if he decides multiple Avatar sequels require enough of his attention to make the Alita franchise less interesting at the moment. But Cameron already expressed his hopes the first film would spawn sequels and that he had already had ideas and plans for additional Alita films, so I doubt he has written it off at the moment. With hindsight, I expect everyone involved in the project wishes they'd stuck with the Christmas 2018 release instead of moving to avoid competition from Mary Poppins and Bumblebee. I agree. I think dumping it in February, which I call January, February dumpuary, that's not my term, but I did hear that somewhere, and it's funny enough to where I use that as a regular basis. Don't put a movie in January or February if you want it to do big numbers. Put it out in the spring or the summer, please. Aquaman was, of course, a monster hit, but there is plenty of room at the holiday box office for another film to break out, and I strongly suspect Alita Battle Angel would have been the other film to deliver big results in light of Mary Poppins and Bumblebee turning in softer performances. Yes, Mary Poppins and Bumblebee, I heard they were okay, but they didn't exactly light the world upon fire. Just saying. This is pure speculation, obviously, but looking at how the Christmas season played out, I believe Alita could have topped $500 million if released sometime during the back half of December 2018. See, now you guys say this stuff. It's questions like that the fact Alita wound up playing better than expected after all, and making me believe it was a mistake to discount the potential for a sequel. But whatever else happens with the IP in the future, for now, the real story is that instead of being a major flop result in a huge write-down by 20th Century Fox, Alita Battle Angel will wind up breaking even and probably generating some small amount of profit from all the merchandising when the dust settles. Yes, bring me the merchandise, please. Check the space for additional updates, including if and when we find out the future has in store for Alita Battle Angel Prize. Dear readers, I for one am rooting for a sequel or continuation series on Disney Plus, as I enjoy the film immensely and believe the property still has great potential. Hopefully Cameron and Disney make a deal to keep it alive. Boy, these shills are something else, man. Disney, 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 Disney. That's why they dumped all over Alita, folks. This is what it comes down to. They were shilling for Captain Marvel all along. It didn't even have anything to do with the SJW politics. They just wanted Captain Marvel to get all of the attention. To hell with Alita. Push her off to the side. She's not worth your time. Go see Captain Marvel because women, all right? Because empowerment, because it's the first movie that ever had a woman in it, ever in your entire life, okay? Go see Captain Marvel so that all of my shill friends and shill media colleagues can go to these special events. That's what it comes down to. Disney owns all of your entertainment. They own all of the news. They're going to tell you what to watch. They are the fuckers that buried Alita in the first place. All right? That's what it comes down to. Alita was the better of the two movies. By far. The Alita challenge worked, motherfuckers. It worked. Everybody went and supported Alita, and Alita is going to get a sequel after all. Hopefully not on the Disney streaming platform. We want to see another movie because you know something else? All of your live action remakes, they're not working anymore. People are getting sick of it. Dumbo sucks. Aladdin could possibly suck as well, all right? So you're not going to get all your money there either. And guess what? If you shove Captain Marvel into the MCU as being the one that saves all the men from Thanos, Captain Marvel's the head of the MCU, and nobody likes Brie Larson, guess what? The MCU, it's going to crash as well. So Alita is your one hope to bring us fans back into the theaters again. If you guys believe in butts and seats the way I think you do, you will make this happen. You will make the sequel happen. You will give it all the money it deserves, and you will not tell the producers what to put out. You will not interfere. You will give us fans what we want, and we will give you your ticket prices. This is the Groovinator signing out. Have yourselves a groovy day.